sure. Hi, my name is Kirby. Welcome back to Artist Banter. Today we have Angel Angel Hernandez.
Hello. Yes.
All right, so I don't know. Tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself.
My name is Angel J. Hernandez, and I am a junior here at Cal State Long Beach. I work in the nonprofit sector. I work as a photographer, as a filmmaker, and yeah, I'd say that a lot of who I am surrounds storytelling and thinking about how we can create more platforms for all people to be able to tell their stories. And so that's kind of the work that I want to do. But I also like horchata and cumbias, and I think I really like just having fun too. So not just the work stuff, but that human aspect of like what I like to do. I like dancing a lot, so I'll say that's yeah, I
Dancing.
love dancing.
Like cumbia?
Cumbia, I'm in the salsa club right now. I haven't been going, but I really, really enjoy dancing. I think it's funny because my girlfriend, usually it's the other way around where the guy doesn't want to dance and the girl does.
Uh,
For me, I'm the one that wants to dance all the time and she doesn't.
uh.
But I told her, I was like, look, if you don't want to dance with me, I'm going to dance with somebody. And it's no disrespect whatsoever. It's just dance. But like, it's just it's a good thing for the heart. It's good for your mental. It's good for your physical. So I think it's one of my favorite things to do.
For sure. Did you know about the new like dance film thing
I
coming
did see
on?
that. I did see that.
Yeah, I like signed up for it.
Really?
I think it like conflicted with my class, but
Uh,
it sounded interesting with like
yeah,
the cinematography
right.
aspect of
Because
it.
I'm pretty sure from what I read on the poster, it's supposed to be something with thinking about like camera blocking to dancing blocking, which I thought was really
Yeah.
interesting. Something that doesn't ever get talked about.
Yeah, because I also have a background in dance, so
What? I didn't know that.
surprise.
What? That's really
so,
cool.
um, yeah, so I really wanted to learn about camera block. It's
Right.
always something I think in high school I had like was watching like it's like it would be like these K-pop choreography
Right.
videos and I'd
All
be
right.
like the
Like,
camera itself it would be moving so much, right?
yeah.
And it's a different art that I think and
Yeah.
it's more collaborative with other
Right.
artists
Right.
especially, which I think
Mm.
is a good expansion.
That is really cool. Because whenever I do watch any of those K-pop videos, like I'll be going to Ramen Hub in Long Beach. Have you ever been
Oh
there?
yeah,
They stay
once.
having the music videos playing. I'm like, damn, like, their shit is good. Like
Yeah.
they got motion. It's crazy. Everything great. So yeah, that sounds like a really cool class. I'm sure that would really set you up to work in that field. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool. Never thought about it.
And would you so instead of like dance, would you be interested in that or are you more like more
No,
narrative?
no, I definitely think dance is one of the things for me specifically that I just enjoy doing for myself. To I guess kind of balance out like all the work things I do because I do think I am a bit of a not a workaholic per se, but I definitely stay busy all the time, and that could be a good and bad thing. But specifically in film, I would want to stick to narrative. I would stick to maybe just expressionistic documentary. Those are probably the three areas that I really do want to stay in. Oh, that's not true because I really like music videos too. So I guess in a way, I would be down for that. I would be pretty down for a lot of movement. I guess the music taste that I'm into is usually very mellow. Funny enough, I have an idea for a music video that I think is really different, and I'm gonna be creating it by the end of the semester. Is a timeline, but I'm really excited for it because it is surrounding cumbia music, but the style that we're going in to shoot it with the cinematography aspect to it, I think it's gonna be really cool, and I think people are really gonna fuck with it. It's me and my boy Diego Aquino, and he's a director that I work with all the time. He's my brother, and we have a pretty cool idea. So I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to share it.
How vague.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, I don't want
I'm
to
so
spoil it. I don't
interested.
want to
No,
spoil it
I
until I
get
make
you.
it.
100%.
But yeah,
Interesting. So I know you mentioned before that you kind of like putting a helping people get a platform.
right.
Kind of is that connecting to your nonprofit?
100%. I think from a very early age, the first nonprofit that I ever became a part of was Color Compton. And from Color Compton, really soon after, I joined Ghetto Film School, which is a film program that I believe to be between an undergrad and master, or in a graduate level. I think it's pretty close. I think it's closest to a graduate level education, and it's free. They take you internationally for their thesis project. The person, Brandon Johnson, who's overseeing it right now, he's amazing. A teacher, programmer, he's amazing. And luckily, he was able to teach me. Color Compton is an art, history, community, and identity organization. So we focus a lot on actually building our community up, not just in film, actually, least in film, most in photography, documentary, written piece, education, those different things. And then I ended up getting to an organization like Get Lit that also was trying to build artists up to then find work in the actual work field. And so all of the see-through line between all of these nonprofits was they all focus on artistry, but also how to build those people up, whether that's on a community level, on a professional level. Um, but I think the reason I work at Color Compton, not just because Compton is my hometown, but I think that the work that is there is never to be the end all education like Ghetto Film School was, but to actually just open up the floor to be able to do any of the different positions that you could be. If you want to be an artist, you don't have to be. If you want to be in education and you want to work in maybe an archive, if you want to do different things, you have that possibility. And so for me, my big goal is 5 things, and they all reside inside of the city of Compton. For one, I wanted to have a film lab in Compton so people can drop off film, get the service, and have that access to that art form. And so I did start that one. Developed in Compton became the film lab that I started or I spearheaded in 2024. Yeah, 2024. And so now we're going on 2 years. We do the monthly photo walks. We do the servicing. That's pretty much all we do actually right now. We do a little bit of programming for the community, and then we do actually service. The other 4 things are a movie theater, a photo studio, an actual production studio, like a big box where we could teach and do studio, and then finally a roller rink. I really like a roller skating rink.
Oh.
Yeah, right. It's so different from the other ones because the other ones are art. But my whole point with those 5 is to just create spaces in the city, in not even just for Compton, but in South LA, because we just don't have any of those resources. It's crazy because when you go back and into the history of it, Compton historically was a white suburban neighborhood. And a lot of people don't really know that, but I mean, I didn't know that growing up in Compton, and it wasn't until I think at the end of my high school that I realized that. But after Black folks started coming into Watts, all of the white people left Compton, or the majority of the white people left Compton and went to Orange County, or left just left, and they took all the resources with them. And now Compton has this very dangerous, gangster, drug inflicted connotation to it, and it's known on a global scale, but yet has no resources. And there's so many artists that come out of Compton and there's no resources. So that kind of just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And again, being a boy from the neighborhood, it just makes me like, how do we set up our next generation to, again, not just have to go into art, but see that they don't just got to be a gangbanger, they don't just got to work in the government, and they don't need to play an instrument or play with the ball to be successful. You can do whatever you want. You can be an astronaut. You can, you know what I mean? And so for me, those 5 things are somewhat my life goal. And I started thinking about that when I had left high school. So everything I've done so far has been in service to those 5 goals. Honestly, being in school right now feels like I have had to pause on those goals because it just takes so much out of me. And I'm working full time. I'm in school full time. And then I'm also trying to take care of myself full time. Um, so it kind of pauses that. But overall, I mean, it's been that is my, I think, purpose. Film, art is my passion. So I love doing that. I would never want to do that full time or work in the film industry as a way of eating and taking care of myself. But doing that with my friends, like how I'm talking about Diego and doing music videos and doing any narratives, like those are all things that I want to do because I get to choose to do those things. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I hope that answered the question. I think so. I hope so. Yeah.
I forgot my question. You like it?
Um,
No, it's so nice to see that passion and care for the community.
right?
I also agree. I think there's not that many, I guess, like third spaces.
No.
What people were talking about.
No.
I always appreciate. I didn't growing up. I didn't have much,
Right.
um, like art stuff.
Mm,
The first time I had it was like a film thing in
mm.
collaboration with like LAPD for some reason, right?
That's crazy.
Like,
Well, that's a crazy
it was called
collaboration.
PAL or something. I don't remember what it was.
How? What the
I don't
heck? I
remember,
gotta look into this.
but it was my first time editing, and I was like,
Oh, that's
it was
pretty cool.
something that like kind of like this is cool.
Right?
But
Right.
speaking about Color at Compton, like was that like the first program you got into? Like what, like how did you get into it? Like how did you hear about it? Where you
Funny
at?
enough, I heard about Color Compton. So for context, I was in high school. I was probably like in junior year of high school, and I had an ex girlfriend who I was still cool with, and she told me, it's like, look, there's this program, there's this place. They gave me a free camera and they paid me to learn how to do it. And at that time, I was already a photographer. I was already doing the magazine for this dentist. So I think the magazine's called Southwest, something like that. And I've already been like working, actually making money off of my photography and doing all these things. I own my own equipment. And so my big step from there was to learn how to shoot film photography. And Color Compton was showing exactly that. And because it was paid, because they were gonna give me a free camera, it was just like icing on top. Like, oh what? Like, duh. Like I'm up there. And so from there, I did get the introduction to the film photography kind of art form and that process and everything, but I took it like 10 times further because I already had that extra background in photography. I ended up buying my first film camera, which was a 120 camera. It was like a Yashica reflex or dual, yeah, the Yashica reflex, I believe. And I jumped straight to 120 millimeter, which is not common, which is not like what people tell you to do. Like you start at 35 and get used to that, and then you could jump up. But I've always been like, I'm gonna jump like face in and then figure it out. And so I actually sold that camera almost immediately because it was just too light for me, and I ended up buying the dream camera that I wanted, the Mamiya RB67. And to this day, I still use that camera for almost a lot of my professional shoots that are on 120. And yeah, I say all of that to say Color Compton introduced me to film photography, and they also introduced me a lot to just archiving and representation in media as a whole. So a lot of the little bits that I think are that gone into my purpose now were slowly pushed in as ideas that came up in these different spaces that I was in. And so it made me think. I think I've always been like a big like question asker. Um, and so it made me think about like why things the way that they are. And then Color Compton just kind of like put gasoline on all that. And it just made my questions grow even bigger and question even on a global scale. And so I was like, no, like this is fucked up. Like we should have things like this. Like it definitely does not need to be like this. Like why does my school not offer me any resources? Like there's no resources for me to do anything outside of just go to college. And college is definitely not for everybody. Now I was very against college for a long, long time. I think I looking back on it now, I think I did have some trauma with some of my teachers because I had a lot of white teachers that would just down the fuck out of me. They would literally tell me like, "Look, bro, you're going to be a bum. You're going to be a janitor and that's all you're ever going to be." And so I became very spiteful of them. I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Fuck you." And I'm going to go and be amazing and I'm going to do it without school. And I'm going to just show you that like, look, like I don't care. Like you said that I couldn't do it and look at me now. And so to a certain extent, I do feel pretty proud of that because to this day, I have gotten zero of my anythings from school. Literally, school has not done anything for me. And I've traveled around the globe. I've been able to do films. I just wrapped on a. I mean, it's not a huge project, but it's like $50,000. I think you were in the room when I talked about it earlier
Yeah,
before, and I was like, for a Top Dog Entertainment. Like I've done some really cool things, and none of those resources or none of those projects or anything has come out of school. Literally zero. School has never been something that has helped me. And to this day, I do want to get this degree. I do want to get my bachelor's, but it's mainly because it's a social requirement to get a good paying job to do this and that. It's like you need to show that you are capable and just yeah, it just to me it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I I know that it is like a necessity for me, and I also want to showcase to my little sister that she can do that too because I am a first generation. I am the first in yeah, I'm the first in my generation and or not my generation in my family to go to college. And so we have nobody else to look to. And so as much as I dislike school for a lot of those reasons, I also know that it's necessary and I do want to showcase and be that leader and be that role model for people like my little sister and all the other kids in the neighborhood to be able to see and know that they could also do it.
oh, that's cool. For your like one of your five goals, would that be like open to a more like a younger population in Compton? Or I feel
All
like
of it.
yeah.
All of it's designed. I mean, I'm not going too deep into any of the ideas, but all of them are designed to help young people and grown folks to get these resources and be able to, like how you said, like you did an editing thing. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. The thing is, those programs are almost never there, so you don't get to experience and see that editing is cool, that maybe journaling is really cool for you, or that maybe like all of these different things can be something you're interested in. All you ever get is go to class, do these problems, finish your homework, and then if you're done, okay, cool, you go to streets. And what
Mm,
you gonna go do there? Like in Compton, there's nothing to do. There's
mm.
the parks are not recommended. There's nothing else to do. You're gonna go to stores. Sure, you're gonna go to stores and do what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what are you gonna do? And so that's why I think it is important to have these different spaces so that you can have something to do, something productive, something you get your hands on, something that people can trust and see you build yourself up on. And so I know that I definitely was one of those kids that was up in the store doing no good. That was, just like messing around, going around the neighborhood and getting into things that I shouldn't have been getting myself into. And so there's a lot of like boxing. There's a lot of sports that come up for ways to prevent kids from being on the street, but I think that not everybody is into that. And a lot of people are into art. A lot of people are into writing. A lot of people are into poetry. A lot of people enjoy different things. And so how do we level that playing field so that our kids, our next generation can have more of that? So all of it is in mind with the next generations coming to be able to build them up.
That's yeah, for sure. So true. I think reflecting back on like my schooling experience,
Right.
it was very much like that. Like I feel like I had much focus on anything except for like after school activities, which not many people can do.
Right. And some people really cannot do them. Like your parents are working.
Yeah.
They can't pick you up 3 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not an option.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to a performing arts high school, so
That's
it was
dope.
kind of like integrated
Yeah.
into the curriculum. But like yeah, like not a lot of people like have that. I
The majority of people don't.
no, like I was talking to my roommate. She was like, "Dude, your school was so cool. I had nothing," and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's growing. I think those resources you talk about definitely like open up a lot of doors
Yeah.
that otherwise maybe they don't know about.
Yeah. Otherwise they would not know about. And I think it's interesting because one of the big things that has always been told. Funny enough, we got a new intern at Color Compton. Her name is Akira, and she's cool. She's I think a sophomore in high school right now. And we were talking about it, and we were talking about where me and Abigail, the CEO, live. And me and Abigail are neighbors. We literally live down the block from each other, and so um, we both live in Compton. And for some reason, Akira believed that we lived somewhere else. She thought that we were Lakewood people.
Mm.
And if you know, Lakewood has more money than Compton. Lakewood is a nice, like a cool neighborhood. It's a like, oh, you live in Lakewood, like you must have a house, you live cool, this and that. And we both like at the same time in unison, we were just like turning around like, what? Kira, like, what are you talking about? I was like, we live in Compton. And she's like, y'all just don't seem like Compton people. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? I literally grew up my entire life here. Like, and I thought it was really funny because when she went into it, she explained that because she sees us in these roles that like we lead the organization, and I am one of the leaders at the organization, and Abigail is obviously our CEO, so she leads, and she thought because we were leading, we must not live here. We must have left to be able to help the community. And so that's always been a big conversation with me and Abigail is it's just like how it is just expected from many industries, but specifically in nonprofit work, that you need to leave and go to somebody else's neighborhood and go to somebody else's community and help the less fortunate. That's really interesting because usually everything historically, who are in those positions to help? Who are the leaders of the majority of these nonprofits? And not to say that they don't have good intentions, but let's think about it, and let's be aware of what the patterns are so that we know them. And a big thing that we fight back on is the idea that you had to leave your neighborhood to succeed, even a neighborhood like Compton. And so I do want to leave Compton, and I do want to leave California and the USA as a whole, but it's not because I just want a better life. And so that means that I can't have that in Compton. It's because there's just more to the world. There's more to the world than the United States. And so yeah, it's a really annoying thing because Compton also has a lot of politics where it will only accept people from outside of Compton to come in to do these like school programs and things like that. So it can be really difficult. But um yeah, just the idea of having to leave to be able to do something good, it's just crazy. Like, why is that so instilled in our neighbors? Like, if you became a really successful person, let's say you lived in Compton, you became a really successful person and you were making like 200,000, 300,000 a year, and you stayed in Compton, people would look at you crazy. Be like, what are you doing here? Like, you're gonna get robbed. Like, everything you have is gonna get taken away from you. You're gonna get into a bad situation. And not to say, things like that don't happen, because all over the globe that happens. But exactly that. All over the globe that happens. So the stigma, the narrative, the single story narrative, all of those things are just crazy, man. It's crazy to just expect that of people and to tell people and to have that even as community members, that be the expectation. You need to get out of here to succeed. You need to get out of here to do something good in the world. And it's just not true. It's just not. I just don't think it's true. I just think that's wrong. So yeah, shout out to Akira.
I see that. You mentioned you do want to get out because you think there's more out there. What are you looking at?
Oh, I love Korea.
Ooh.
I just came back from Korea. I don't know if I told you that, but I came back from Korea this winter. And I really enjoyed it out there. I thought it was really fun. I liked it more than I liked Japan. And yeah, I don't know. I think I caught the vibe.
Was it with the organization? Or?
It was actually, I went out there with Diego, and we went for 2 weeks because I was taking a class. So it was like a study abroad situation for me. I was taking a class in South Korea.
What class?
It was branding. And it actually really was interesting. It was the first time I also got to experience a one class at a time. And so I actually got to learn what my professor was talking about. I normally have to stack my schedule at minimum 5 classes per semester. And that most of the time is just a playing game of like, how do I balance this work with this work and get this done and by this time and that time. And so for 2 weeks, I had an intensive workshop, an intensive class strictly on branding. And I'm not going to say nothing, but my team was number 1. And so, it was just a time where I actually got to focus and learn. And that was really cool. Branding is really interesting. Branding is literally everywhere over the globe. And I think it also goes hand in hand with narratives and storytelling, and how this, I think I heard recently, I forgot from who, it was probably from like a cartoon or something, but the most dangerous weapon is not a gun but a story.
Mm.
And it's so true, because you can literally, you can, what's the word I'm looking for, you can justify anything you do to any other people because of stories, because of the stories you talk about them. And yeah, that's why I think my mission and my purpose is to create spaces for people to then be able to have their own, be able to know that they have a choice, more choices, and what they want their story to be, and
Mm.
what they then tell and talk about, and how they tell their story. So yeah, yeah, I think that completely went left field of your question, but
No,
yeah.
no, I love it.
Yeah.
It's are there any like recent projects that you think are heading towards that direction?
Definitely just the film lab right now. Again, just because I'm in school right now, I haven't been able to really push for any of it the whole time that I've been doing this, doing the film lab work. I've also been in school, I think, for the, at least for the majority of it, and it's just been really difficult, honestly, because I got to make money, I got to create engagement, I got to do all my schoolwork, and I got other, like, I still do youth programming with the organization. Sometimes I do youth programming with different organizations. So, and then I have other projects that I want to do. So it's just, it becomes a lot. Um, but developing Compton and the work I'm doing there is definitely the the one that I'm focusing on right now, the one out of the five. And it was like, it's pretty cool to know that I have these big, big old five goals, but I'm already getting started. Like
Mm.
I literally started one of them already, and now I just gotta grow that into a place where it's good, so I can move on to the next, or just start thinking about how I'm gonna jump to the next at the same time and just figure that out. But to do that, I really do feel like I gotta get out of school first. So I'm kind of just taking my time, or biding my time to finish school one more year, and then I can go all in. Uh,
No, I'm the
man,
same way. I'm like school is taking up so much of my focus
yeah,
that I'm like I wonder what I'm capable of after.
right, right.
Mm.
Yeah, and one thing, I recently started my website, funny enough,
Mm-hmm.
and
Plug it, plug it.
it's planet two ends dot angel at, no at, dot com, pretty sure dot com. Yeah. It's on my Instagram. My Instagram is planet dot angel, two ends. You'll see me, and I think it's a black and white photo, but I was creating my bio for it, and the thing that I think I put at the end is that I never waited for a syllabus to tell me, or to give me permission or the guideline to do the thing. And that for me is really true. Like how I said earlier, I'm usually pretty against school because I do feel like the system, or yeah, the way that it works and the system that it has just does not work for a lot of people, and I think should be innovated. I do think it should be updated, but I would never, I completely disagree with the notion that you have to wait for school to tell you that you're able to do something. I just think that's so yeah, I just think that's dumb. I think that you should always go and just do the thing, learn from what you did, and just keep going and just
Mm-hmm.
keep doing it. And that you're gonna have to do that anyway. So why wait till you have permission, till you're like, somebody tells you that, oh, you've done a good enough job to pass my class, now you're ready.
Mm.
Not to say that you're not supposed to learn from people, because you 100% are. We always need to learn from each other, but you don't need to wait for a paper to give you permission, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel like those resources that you want to work towards creating really help out. Otherwise, school is all people learn from.
Yeah, because it's somewhat mandatory, but nah, bro, nah, we can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think that's all for today. Any last thoughts?
Hey, any last thoughts? Let me see if I can say one last thing. Mm,
Give
okay,
me like a
okay.
um maybe something somebody told you that
Mm.
kind of cemented who you are.
Oh, okay. So I really like this because I get lit. I really appreciated that they helped me develop this self branding kind of yeah, this self brand for myself. And one of the things that was most important was our North Star. My North Star came about from two separate places. One was Brandon Santiago, another mentor of mine, friend of mine, um, and he said his North Star was I am a weapon of my community. I thought that was really cool because, again, playing off of this narrative that Compton is very dangerous, Compton is drugs, Compton is guns. Yes, I am a weapon, but I am a weapon as a shield, as a spear to both protect and push my community forward. And the Get Down. Have you seen the Get Down?
I don't think so.
It's a
No.
must watch.
Okay.
1,000% a must watch. The Get Down on the first episode, Ezekiel or Zeke, he's talking about his poem, and one of the actually might not be the first episode, but Zeke says this, and he's talking about how cowards cower, leaders lead. And so I kind of put those together. Cowards cower, leaders lead. I am a weapon of my community. And to me, that is always going to encompass what I do, why I do it. And yeah, that's always going to encompass that. And so that is always my North Star. So even when I don't know what direction I should go in or if I'm doing something right or wrong, I can always look at that North Star. I can always look at that quote to help me. Is this going to be in line with that? Is this going to be heading in that right direction? So I think having a North Star for yourself, super important, because then it also is just a guiding light for you forever to be able to look at. And if that quote changes, if that North Star no longer is the North Star for you, then you're always free and able to change it for yourself. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Good.
Thank you
I
for
like
having
that.
me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you.